I wanted to start this video off by giving some extraordinary love to a guy who happens to be a moderator for our live stream chat. Ladies and gentlemen, Connor Bedard. What an absolute superstar of a hockey player this guy is, and on the cusp of him achieving his 200th National Hockey League point, I wanted to go out there with a conversation. That's it. A conversation. One that was posted about by Jake, 313 Hockey on Twitter, a guy who does stuff for Octopus Thrower and who used to do stuff for the Hockey Writers, Winging It Motown, and AP. He went out there and tweeted this the other day, and I thought it was super interesting. I'm not sure if this is possible without the 2026 first-round pick, but the Detroit Red Wings should just offer Connor Bedard with an 8-year, $20 million deal offer sheet. Who even cares anymore? Now, just to get into the logistics of it, a $20 million salary offer sheet compensation, that's 4 first-round picks. Just letting you know. Jake replies, yes, and? Essentially saying that, yeah, okay, 4 first-round picks for Connor Bedard. Who cares? That's fine. With that said, however, it's possible. You do not need the 2026 first-round pick to do an offer sheet that would equate 4 first-round picks in compensation, because you would be offer sheeting after the 2026 draft. You would need the 2027, 8, 9, and 2030 first-round picks. As long as the Red Wings don't trade away those, they can offer sheet guys like Connor Bedard. And they can potentially offer 8 years, $20 million a season. Now, why would anybody want to go out there and do that? Well, it's because Connor Bedard is one of the best young players in the National Hockey League. He's 20. He's got 72 points in 65 games this season. He is creeping back up there towards point-per-game territory in his career, and by this time next year, he will likely have already shattered the point-per-game mark. I have no doubt that if Connor Bedard continues on the path that he is on, he is going to win multiple awards by the time his career is said and done. He'll have an Art Ross. He might have a Maurice Richard. I'd say might just because he hasn't necessarily taken over as that #1 goal scorer just yet, but we all recognize from the shooting, from the projection, that he has the capability of doing that. Right now, though, he does have to beat out Tyler Bertuzzi on his own team. But Connor Bedard is a generational player, and I'm still going to go out there and saying that, even though Macklin Celebrini is, he's kind of doing the exact same thing in San Jose, but the team is better, he's getting more points, and you could also say that 20 years ago we had Crosby and Ovechkin at the league in the same time, who are both generational players, so, haha, check. Either way, Connor Bedard is just one of these guys where an offer sheet, when you're theorizing the possibility of it actually happening, you need to go into these extraordinarily high numbers. $20 million, max term, just do whatever you can to get this guy signed. 8 years, I don't think that's possible, right? Because the Red Wings, for example, offer sheeting somebody, you can't go 8. You could go 7, I guess. But Connor Bedard, if you were to get an offer sheet to go through, it would have to be something like this. Because offer sheets are two-way streets. You can't just offer sheet whomever you want and then just let that work. You have to get the player to sign the darn thing. And we have seen players over the years have various reasons for signing these offer sheets, from Sebastian Aho using the Montreal Canadiens to negotiate the specific contract that he wanted, to Philip Broberg and Dylan Holloway not really getting treated all too nicely by the Oilers contract-wise and gameplay-wise, so they ended up going over to St. Louis, to Jesperi Kotkaniemi signing an offer sheet because he was just offered way too much money compared to what he was actually able to achieve. These offer sheets are rare, but they do happen for various reasons. And if a guy like Connor Bedard were to ever accept an offer sheet, despite the fact that he is a very good leader for the Chicago Blackhawks, stepping into a larger role within the team this year, He's the face of the franchise, and he's working towards becoming their voice and heart too. If Connor Bedard is going to go out there and sign an offer sheet to leave this franchise for which he currently has the A on his sweater, it's going to have to be for $20 million a year. And the funny part is, like, obviously Jake is a Red Wings fan going out there and saying that because the Red Wings are so bad. I don't know if y'all have realized, but after the hot first half of the season that they had, where they were winning games like crazy due to their goaltending, and because they were getting kind of lucky on the kind of shots they were getting through, the Wings need a top-of-the-line, game-changing set of players to just totally change the fate of this franchise. Lucas Raymond and Dylan Larkin are great. Alex DeBrincat has been a great story this season too. But there isn't a Connor Bedard in Detroit. There isn't a Kucherov, there isn't a Celebrini, there isn't a Schaefer. Connor Bedard, going over to a team like Detroit, would do so many things to fixing the problems that they currently have this season, and some of the same problems that we potentially could be seeing next season and the season after that. It's a culture thing with the Wings. These guys give up. These guys don't have what it takes skill-wise or motivation-wise to persist when the going gets difficult. And we see this every single year in the second half of the season. The March collapses have been real. The Red Wings are 3 points behind with 0 games in hand of the wild card. They're not going to make it. So why not shed $20 million a year for a guy that can be a franchise, generational, game-breaking talent? It's not like the Red Wings have so much money tied up into other players anyway. And the ones that they do have money tied up into, you can very well say that these guys are not really all too significant, and they can be traded away just whenever you want. Hey, Steve Yzerman, he's traded guys away for nothing before. Tarasenko, Wallman. Why not a JT Compher, who's making $5.1 million right now against the cap? Why not Andrew Kopp, who's got one more year at 5.6? If you can get rid of some of these guys and use that extra money to offer sheet a guy like Connor Bedard, you've changed this franchise forever. Now, Jake's idea, obviously, it's not realistic because Chicago also has a pretty high amount of cap space themselves. The Blackhawks, I mean, they've got $13 million. They're fine. They will find a way to match whatever it is Connor Bedard gets offer sheeted for if the guy gets offer sheeted. And honestly, I don't even think it's outside the realm of possibility that Chicago can just offer Bedard that 8-year, $20 million AAV deal. Kirill Kaprizov got 17, and he's a winger. Sure, Bedard isn't necessarily as accomplished as Kaprizov has been, but hey, he's going to be in that territory a player very, very soon, if not maybe by the end of next season. So, with all that said, you can let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. The idea of a Connor Bedard offer sheet obviously is hypothetical at best, and extremely unrealistic at worst. But if Steve Yzerman and the Detroit Red Wings could have tried to pull something like this off, would you have been happy with that? I think the answer is yes, but you can let me know your thoughts as to whether or not that's actually worth dissecting here or no. The fact that the Blackhawks are also kind of bad still makes it a lot easier to think about whether or not this is a possibility. Like, for Macklin Celebrini next year, it's like, oh, well, the Sharks are really good, so he has absolutely zero reason to commit anywhere else, even if he gets overpaid. But for Connor Bedard, it's like, well, Chicago still has room to improve. They are still one of the worst teams in the NHL, so why not try to pry away a guy who was on the second worst team in the league? Maybe jump up a few spots and also give him $20 million a year in the process. You can let me know your thoughts in the comment section below whether or not this is actually a reasonable thing to talk about. I can understand if you don't think it is, but I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.